The text message came like a whisper in the dark, a handful of words that carried more weight than any conversation Lisa had ever had with her son. She sat alone in the kitchen, staring at the glowing screen while her half-finished cup of chamomile tea turned cold beside her. "Mom, can we talk? I need help. It's about my first time." Her heart lurched. At first, her mind scrambled for explanations. His first time driving? Filing taxes? Cooking something that didn't come out of a microwave? But then the weight of what he really meant settled in, and Lisa felt her chest tighten with a mixture of fear, tenderness, and nostalgia. She thought back to her own teenage years, to the fumbling uncertainty, the shame of not knowing enough, and the overwhelming fear of saying the wrong thing. It was never easy, and now her son, her only child, her whole world, was asking her to guide him through that same uncharted territory. She placed her phone down gently, took a steady breath, and typed back, "Of course, sweetheart. I'm here. Come talk to me." 20 minutes later, the front door opened with a soft thud. Her son, Ethan, walked in, shoulders hunched, his hoodie pulled low over his face. He wasn't the confident 18-year-old she had celebrated just a few months ago. Tonight, he looked more like the shy little boy she used to tuck into bed after nightmares. Lisa waited on the couch, her hands folded tightly in her lap, as Ethan lowered himself onto the chair across from her. The silence was heavy, almost suffocating, until he finally spoke, his eyes glued to the rug beneath his feet. I don't even know how to start." "You already have," Lisa said softly, her voice steady and warm. "And I'm so proud of you for reaching out to me." His hands trembled as he clasped them together, and then the words came rushing out in a flood. "I think I'm ready to, be with someone. But I'm scared. I don't want to mess it up. I've never done anything like this before, and I don't want it to be awful. And I don't have anyone else to talk to." The confession hung between them like fragile glass, and for a moment Lisa's throat tightened with emotion. Ethan wasn't just asking for advice, he was trusting her with the most vulnerable part of himself. "Well," she began carefully, leaning forward, her voice filled with reassurance. "First of all, I'm glad you came to me. That took a lot of courage. And I want you to know I'm not here to judge or make this awkward. I just want to help you feel safe, informed, and respected in whatever choices you make." She watched as relief washed over his face, like he had been holding his breath for days and could finally exhale. "I want it to be meaningful," he whispered. "I don't want it to feel wrong or like I'm just doing it because I'm supposed to. There's so much pressure. Online, at school, everyone makes it sound like it's nothing. But I don't want it to be like that." Lisa's heart ached. He didn't need a lecture, not the kind that reduced intimacy to mechanics or rules. What he wanted was guidance, gentle, compassionate, honest. So they talked. They talked about boundaries, about respect, about communication. She explained that the first time wasn't a rite of passage that suddenly turned him into an adult, but rather a step that required trust, understanding, and care for himself and for the other person. At one point, Ethan hesitated, then looked up with flushed cheeks. "Would it be weird if I practiced how to talk about it with you?" Lisa tilted her head, a small smile tugging at her lips. "You mean like role-playing a conversation?" He nodded quickly, embarrassed. "Not the, actual stuff. Just how to talk about it. How to ask someone if they're comfortable. How to not make it awkward. I just don't want to freeze up." Her chest warmed, her eyes softening. "That," she said gently, "we can absolutely do." And so they did. They played out different scenarios, Ethan stumbling at first, his words tangled and uncertain. But as they went on, the tension in the room began to dissolve. He grew more confident, asking questions, practicing how to listen, how to check in, how to express his feelings without fear. They even laughed a few times, the heaviness lifting into something lighter, something hopeful. Later that week, Ethan came home from school with a quiet wonder in his voice. "I actually talked to Clara today," he told her, eyes shining. "About real stuff. About feelings." A shy smile tugged at his lips. "And she didn't run away." Lisa's chest swelled with pride. "That's because you're learning how to be real. And realness, Ethan, it's rare. And it's precious. A few nights later, Ethan knocked on her bedroom door. When she looked up, he was standing there with a small cardboard box in his hand. His voice was nervous, his body tense. I bought these, he said, holding it out. It was a box of condoms. I don't think I'm ready yet. But I wanted to be prepared for when the time comes. Lisa took the box from him, looked him in the eye, then handed it back. That's smart. Being ready isn't just about feelings, it's about responsibility too. That shows maturity. For the first time that night, a genuine smile broke through his nerves. Thanks, Mom. I don't think I could have talked to anyone else about this. Days later, she overheard him on the phone with Clara, his voice careful, kind, sincere. He asked her questions, not just about what she wanted to do, but how she felt, what she was comfortable with. Lisa didn't mean to listen, but she couldn't stop the tears from welling up as she realized what she was hearing wasn't just her son trying to figure out intimacy, it was her son becoming a man who valued respect and compassion above everything else. When he came to say goodnight, he hugged her, not the quick, distracted kind he'd given her in recent years, but a deep, heartfelt embrace. No words, just gratitude. Weeks later, Ethan burst through the door, his face glowing with something new. I think I'm falling for her, he said breathlessly. Lisa's lips curved into a gentle smile. And does Clara feel the same way? I think so, he replied, his voice soft but steady. We just connect. It's not even about the physical stuff anymore. It's like I can just be myself. And in that moment, Lisa realized that the night she had first read his text message hadn't just been a conversation about his first time. It had been a turning point. A door opening into honesty, trust, and emotional maturity. Ethan hadn't needed her to shield him from mistakes, he had needed her to give him the tools to walk his own path with courage and compassion. That night, lying awake in the quiet, Lisa felt something she hadn't in a long time. Not fear. Not worry. But awe. Because she hadn't just raised a boy, she was watching her son grow into a man who understood that love, real love, begins not with pressure or performance, but with trust.